Hey YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul, and welcome to another remake video. Today, we're going to be remaking Rae Sremmurd's latest track, Perplexing Pegasus, produced by Mike Will Made It. As soon as I heard it, I knew I had to remake it, so let's get straight to it. First things first, let's set our tempo at 146 beats per minute. And we're going to start off with that main lead sound that we hear throughout the entire track. Let's give ourselves a 4-bar region. And we'll draw in the pattern in a moment, but let's go ahead and bring in the instrument. We're going to bring in ReFX Nexus 2. And the preset that we'll be using can be found under the piano category. And we're going to use the first one, the PN Arena Ambience. All right, so let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. All right, so there's the pattern right there, but let's go ahead and open up Nexus just to kind of get this sounding a little bit more like the one in the track itself. So the first thing that we are going to do is going to go ahead and turn off this delay as we don't need it. We're going to pull up the attack a little bit here. Next, let's go on to our master filter, and we're going to cut off a little bit here. And let's go ahead and pull up our resonance. Let's go over to our reverb and pull up that mix. All right, so there's the main sound right there. Next, let's go ahead and make the sound that is in the background. You don't quite hear it, but it's there, and you're going to miss it if it's not there. So let's get to that. We're going to create a new software instrument track. All right, so for this instrument, we're going to bring in Logic's ES2 synthesizer. And we're going to draw or design the sound in a moment. Let's go ahead and just draw in that pattern first. It's a fairly easy pattern. It just essentially repeats itself like that. But let's go ahead and get this sounding like the one in the track, because that sounds pretty bad. We're going to turn on unison. Our first oscillator is going to be a sine wave. Our second oscillator will be a sine wave. We could turn off the third oscillator as we don't need it. And we're going to push this to be a 50-50 split. Let's pull up our analog to about 2 o'clock. This is our detuning. Let's pull up our glide. Let's add in some drive. Let's pull off or cut off a little bit. All right, next let's go ahead and pull up our attack. Pull up our delay a little bit. Bring down the sustain. And pull down the release. So that sound is really not fundamental to the track, but it's there in the background and it sort of keeps the vibe going. But before we move on, let's go ahead and just add in a quick reverb here to give it some space. And I'm going to bring in a preset here. Let's bring in a spring verb and let's just go with the first one. So something like that sounds good. Again, it is in the background, but it keeps that vibe going. So let's go ahead and create a new software instrument track and start to programming in those drums. So let's bring in Logic's EXS24 sampler instrument. And we're going to bring in the Rae Sremmurd's Perplexing Pegasus drum kit here. And we're just going to pull this up nice and loud. And we're going to start off with those hi-hats. So let's get to that right now. Let's go ahead and double that. Let's duplicate this track and let's draw in those 808s. So this essentially duplicates itself. Except here we get a drop 808 note right here. All right, next let's go ahead and duplicate this track. And let's bring in that snare. Now for the snare, it's a little bit high, so let's go ahead and just cut off some of those highs. So we're just muffling that sound up ever so slightly. All right, so that's our snare right there. So also in the intro, of course, you have those Vox samples in there. I think Sway Lee recorded a breath sample. So before this tutorial started, I recorded my own breath. So here we go here. I'm just going to drag that in. And it sounds like this. So it may not sound as good as Sway Lee's, but it's going to do for this remake. All right, so for this one, what we're going to do here is I'm just going to open up an EQ. I'm just going to cut out some of the lows here. Let's solo it out for now. So we'll boost it something like that in the high end. Maybe we'll boost a little bit in the high range as well, just to get it a little sparkling. All right, next what we're going to do here is add in a quick reverb to get this nice and airy. So we're going to bring in Logic Space Designer. And again, we're going to go to a large space. Let's go to a room. And sure, let's just take the first one here. Bring that down. And we bring that in with the rest of the track. And that's pretty much the foundation to the beat right there. So let's just get a quick arrangement down before we move on to the B part in this track. I'm just going to move this over one here. I'm going to drag in the Mike Will Made It tag right here. So we have that at the beginning. Going to quickly add a fade at the end here. It sounded like there's a little click. So we'll let this ride out for 8 bars. And then we're going to go into our B part when the verse kicks in. Let's go ahead and just copy this over. And let's go ahead and add in a couple more instances of that drum kit. So let's go ahead and create another instance of this drum kit right here and duplicate that. And for these 4 bars, we're going to bring in another hi-hat pattern. Let's go ahead and draw that in right now. But for this hi-hat, I'm just going to solo it out for now. Actually, maybe I need it with the beat. The breaths are going to come out. All right, so that sounds good like that, except this hi-hat is pitched down. So let's go ahead and just tune this down -7 semitones. Ooh, that's -5. All right, next let's go ahead and duplicate this track as well. And create another instance of that drum kit. Let's go ahead and draw in those kicks. And that just duplicates itself as well. And this goes on for another couple bars. Now I'm not doing the exact arrangement, but every element will be here for yourself if you want to create the whole arrangement of the track. And let's go ahead and just duplicate this as well. And we're going to go ahead and create that lead sound that we hear in the choruses. So let's create a new software instrument track. For organization's sake, let's just bring that down to the bottom. Draw in another 4-bar pattern. So let's go ahead and bring in the instrument that we'll be using, and that is ReFX Nexus 2. Let's load in that preset as well. It's under the plucked category, and we'll be using PL Fairy Tale. If we can find that here. Here it is right here. So let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. So there is that pattern right there. It's going to bring it down in volume a little bit. We're going to open up Nexus 2 and just adjust this slightly. Just going to pull up the reverb on this as well, as everything Mike Will likes to do on Rae Sremmurd's track is drench it in reverb. That's pretty much all we're going to do on that. Just lower it a little bit more. Let's go ahead and duplicate that over 8 bars. And then maybe bring in this section once again at the end. So that's pretty much the remake of Rae Sremmurd's track, Perplexing Pegasus, produced by Mike Will Made It. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and listen to what we've just put together. Remake right there. Now, as I was listening to that back, I did remember one thing, and I didn't do it here for you guys. Let's do that quickly. On these breaths in the actual original track, there is some automation happening, and it's going from the left channel to the right channel. So here's how you do that. In Logic, you hit A on your keyboard to open up the automation. And we're going to open up our pan section. And we're going to go pan from left to right. So let's just pan this up. Go about 45, minus 45 left. And then we'll pan this down to minus 45 right. Or sorry, plus 45 right. And then we'll do the same thing here. So it's going to go back and forth. And you get something like that. Let's just go ahead and duplicate this, push this over to here, and that will move over that automation. And just to hear the clip, it sounds like this. All right, so let's listen to the whole thing once again. Here we go. So that is the remake of Perplexing Pegasus by Rae Sremmurd, produced by Mike Will Made It. It's a crazy track. As soon as I heard it, I knew I had to remake it. So here it is right here. Enjoy. For you Logic users out there, I am going to go ahead and save this entire session for you guys. Place that as a downloadable link in the description box below this video. For you non-Logic users out there, got your back as usual. I'm going to export all these MIDI stems right here, including, and I'm going to include the drum kit, and of course my awesome sample of my Vox sample right here, and the Mike Will Made It tag over there, all included in the plate pack in the link in the description box below this video. If you did like this video, remember, thumbs up. Let's see if we could get this video to 2,000 thumbs up, 2,000 likes. That would be awesome. And of course, guys, if you do have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section below. And for more great videos like this one, remember to hit that subscribe button. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Later.